State College. Wanted to mention this, Coach. I think you know about this, so I think it's all right to talk about. We've got the reader card here for the Old Roy Donut at Duncan, where people get this donut, the Old Roy, from March 14th through the 27th. 50 cents of every purchase of that donut goes to either the UNC Children's Hospital or the Second Harvest Food Bank of Metro Lina, depending on what area of the state that you're purchasing the donut. Coach, why was the Old Roy donut coming into our lives?
Well, I think I'm always interested in trying to have some fun with some things. I'm always interested in trying to help people raise money. I think the causes that we have here, the hospital and the food bank in Charlotte and our children's hospital here, are something that I'm always interested in doing. I don't mind acting an idiot and looking like it more often than I should probably, but I love donuts. There's no question about that. The Bavarian cream in the middle of a chocolate-covered donut's about as good as it gets. So if people just want to go and they don't like donuts and they just want to buy some, they can bring it by the basketballs. We know what to do.
You'll take care of.
We know what to do with it in our office and in my home. I can tell you so it's just a fun thing to do, and hopefully we'll raise some money that can, needless to say, be used very effectively.
I was so disappointed. Adam Lucas said he only liked chocolate donuts. He didn't like the cream in the middle. I thought that was a big mistake by Adam.
I do too. But Adam's a little short-sighted. That's all right, to that kind of thing. But I love Adam, but I'm not going by his vote on the donuts, I can tell you.
All right, let's grab a few more questions here for Coach. And pretty simple question here from Corey Miller. Coach wants to know, what keeps you motivated on a day-in and day-out basis?
You know, it's something that I really enjoy doing. I enjoy trying to put a team together that might have a chance to be the best team in the country, and that's the way I look at it all the time. Every year I want to see if we can get us to a point that we'll have a chance to win a national championship. And, you know, the top 10, 12, 15, those teams have a chance every year. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to do it, but they all have a chance. And so the motivation for me is that I love coaching. I love working with young people. I want to have 0.1% of the effect that my high school coach, Buddy Baldwin, had on me, or that Coach Dean Smith had on our players here. And that sounds corny, but that's the truth of the matter, because my coaches were the most important individuals to me as I was growing up. And I do like putting things together and seeing if I can convince people to make sacrifices for a common goal. I'm still the guy that sets up all the golf trips and where we're going to eat and everything like that. So I enjoy that part of it. And trying to be the best is something that, needless to say, I really enjoy that part.
Coach, we've had this similar questions from Evan and George, both sent this in about Kendall Marshall and Sean May. You've been asked before about those guys, but just what their roles are on your team and how they help make your team better.
Well, they don't do a lot, almost nothing with the team themselves. I mean, the guys will come by and talk to them, and they love that association, but they do no on-the-court coaching whatsoever. They're great for the staff. They're great for me. As you know, I'm not technology savvy by any means, so I can say that I want to see a high school player in Nebraska. Can you get it for me? And they'll bring it in and have it on the computer. If my phone goes wacko, I talk to Sean. He gets it straightened out. So those kind of things are important. But I think the things they do behind the scenes with the computers, with the high school games and high school players. Sean does all my scouting tapes for me. I'll say I'd like to take home, Duke versus Louisville or Duke versus Virginia. What I did last week, I guess Thursday and Friday nights, Sean gets that for me immediately. When we grade the tape every day, they sit in on that, and it's more experience for them learning what we want and just all they knew as a player. So they help, tabulate the scoring after every game, do those kind of things. But it is something that I feel very, very fortunate, and I'm not only fortunate but really lucky and somewhat guided luck, because I've always said they were two of the 5 smartest players I've ever coached, and to have those 2 guys on the staff means that I still enjoy having them around and learning some things and a lot of times I'll say, when you played, what would you have done here? And that gives me a lot of information as well.
Coach, last one, I think it's a good one to end on here, because I think it might be the $1 million question for the whole season for you. It comes from Ron Riggs, and he said, clearly this year's team has talent and is deep, has a lot of guys that you play. As a coach, what is the hardest part about trying to bring that talent together on a consistent basis to play as a team?
Well, it's their generation is different, and the whole society is basketball society. The basketball world is built on the emphasis of the NBA. It's not built on team play,
right.
And so trying to navigate through that and getting to find kids that will be concerned about how well the team does. That's the most difficult part. And everybody, every parent, every aunt, uncle, summer league coach, they think that their guy's going to be an NBA player. That is really, really hard. That's what they don't understand. And it's okay to be a big-time college player. That's pretty significant. But that's the biggest thing that is so hard to understand, because especially when I first started out, I mean, guys just wanted to win. That was the most important thing. Mm-hmm. And the fact that there's so many other issues going on now takes away from that. And that's, to me, it's very sad.
It's interesting to talk to Danny Green recently. We ran some of Danny's interview last week on the show, and we were talking about the 2006 win at Duke, and he talked about, that locker room. He said, for him, that's what it was about. And this is a guy who's won 3 NBA titles, and he said, but being successful at college, doing it together as a team, that win in particular, he said that there's something special and different about that.
Well, 6, 7, 8, 9, those 4 years in a row there, Tyler and Danny and Marcus, Bobby, their class never lost a game in Cameron. But the focus that they had, and those guys were zoned in on how our team was doing. And, at the end of 2008, Danny and Ty and Wayne even tested the waters, I guess is what they were saying, but they wanted to come back to school. Tyler Hansbrough knew that he would be in the top 12, 13 picks, but he wanted to win the national championship. And so those guys were a little different, and things are different now. And I think those kids, their families were more concerned about getting a college education and, you're a basketball player, so do the best you can do. And right now, just the scenario that the kids are in makes the college education not be nearly as important. And like I say, again, that's sad, but it's the world that we live in, and we got to go with it.
All right, we're going to take a break. One more segment to do with Coach. We'll chat a little bit more about this upcoming week after this from Learfield IMG College. So as we said earlier, Carolina heading to Greensboro for the ACC tournament. A reminder again, the Heels will play Wednesday night, as Coach and I talked about, approximately 9 o'clock against either Notre Dame or Wake Forest. And Coach, you've got 3 ACC tournament titles as a head coach here at Carolina, 2 as an assistant coach at UNC, 4 tournament titles during your time at Kansas as well. What does it take to win this event, to be successful in this event?
Well, you got to be really, really good,
yeah.
And you have to be playing very well at this time of year. Guard play is extremely important. The pace of the games are extremely important. We went 4 years in a row, lost in the finals, I think 4 years in a row, and did very well once we got past the tournament, once we got in the NCAAs at that time. But we have a conference tournament. It's the granddaddy of all of them. It's extremely important to the fans and the alums and how well you play. So I consider it to be very much more serious than people think that I do. I've always said, why you play again one weekend, what you've already done for 7 or 8 or 9 weeks. But the fact of the matter is it's good financially for everybody and can hopefully get you ready to play in the NCAA tournament. But it's a big-time atmosphere. It's sort of sad that we're not going to have fans up in Greensboro other than a very, very limited number for the teams' families. And, I'm sure they're going to find a way to give some sponsors, people some money that put those dollars up in front there. But Greensboro is just a fantastic place to hold the tournament, and I'm glad we're having it there.
Coach, last thing, you may not have even thought this far ahead. Do you guys plan to get together to watch selection show, and have you thought about travel yet, or is that not even in your mind yet?
Not even in our mind yet. We're focused on trying to play great in Greensboro and play well as long as they'll allow us to stay. And if we happen to be playing on Sunday, somebody's got to win, so why not let it be? Or Saturday. When is the final?
Saturday.
So if we're going to play in the finals on Saturday, we're going to try to do our best to win the daggum thing.
Again, Carolina starts its ACC tournament play Wednesday night against either Notre Dame or Wake Forest right around 9 o'clock. Coach, great to see you. As always, thank you for your time. Appreciate your time all season long and look forward to you guys continuing through the postseason.
Well, I'm like you, Jones. I'd like to keep working quite a bit longer, so let's play as long as we can. But thank you very much for your time.